Good morning, podcast community. Man, you are in for some fun this morning. Okay, just before we went on the air, we talked and Sergio shared something with me, and we'll get it into it in the podcast, but absolutely made my day. So you're going to hear about a person that believes in headshots. And we were just chatting, this was a different subject. How many people I see on LinkedIn and they have a headshot that maybe is good for Facebook, but LinkedIn is professional. You have to spend a little bit of money, get a professional headshot, look professional, because so many people will breeze through profiles so fast. And if you have one of you at the beach or doing something crazy, that's good. I mean, hey, we want to know that you have fun, but professional is professional. People make first impressions. So, Sergio, thanks for coming into our studio and thanks for making my day. Okay, that's for another day. So he's going to share three things, and I want him to really. We're going to have a conversation, but we're gonna base it on three real reasons our community can benefit by understanding the importance of that first impression and your professional way you communicate. And now I know why he's doing what he's doing, but that's for later in the podcast. So, Sergio, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Well, my name is Sergio Santos. I am a headshot professional specialist, and I'm here in Marietta for about 3 years officially.
Mm-hmm.
4 on the paper, but 3 years because the first year was just looking for a studio and all that, new business thing.
Mm-hmm. You know what's so cool about this? Because I was asking you about what language you think in, because my friend, I go to church with him. He educated me when he came. He's from Puerto Rico, and so when he moved here, it took him a couple of years to feel comfortable thinking in a different language. And I've always never understood that because I'm, what do you call single? What do you call when you're not bilingual, you're singular lingual? Monolingual. So I'm monolingual, and I didn't even pass English in high school. So you could say half of mono. Okay. That's side note, different story. Okay. But here's what my question is our branding team is out of Brazil. And when you told me you speak Portuguese, if I wasn't sitting down, I would have fallen on the floor, because when Juliana introduced me to Wellington, it took us 3 times to communicate exactly what I do. And I finally got a person who does marketing, and she has CPA. She works for a big CPA firm. She's from Brazil. She came here at 16. She, in 15 minutes, communicated exactly what my business is all about, because we met and I talked her through, and she knew, and then the third version absolutely blew me away. What is it? Maybe you can help me. What is it about Brazil that first impression, that branding, that is it in what you guys do? Help our viewers understand the importance of branding from a headshot perspective.
Definitely. Well, going to the Brazil part, I guess, like, since we grew up with like a mix of everything, different populations from the world in Brazil, I think we get to really read people, understand people, getting to get behind those facades, those like get to the real ID. So I think that we grew up doing that. So maybe that's why we're a little maybe better.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say a little better.
I'm not going to say a little better, because I've been in marketing my whole life, but I've never seen branding at the level that the team from Brazil put together. So I would say a lot better. Okay, go ahead. But that's my opinion.
Thank you. Well, on the headshot part, it's actually because we have to bring that brand into headshots. Headshots about bringing you, the main character of that brand, up to speed, up to like, hey, we have the tendency to really focus on like, let's do everything to the brand looks fantastic, like the perfect logo, the perfect website, the perfect everything. You listed. There's a list of technical branding things that you can do. But we forget about ourselves. We forget like, hey, I'm the owner of the company, like of my company. Like if you go look at my headshots, what's one of the most important things for me? Like you have to reflect my brand. It has to be sophisticated. It has to bring the idea that I wanted to bring. That's what's important. Hey, you have like a very casual vibe. Bring it. Do that. Bring to your headshot as well. You can be casual. You can be. I'm not saying like everybody has to be that stiff suit and tie,
right?
But it have to be your brand. So you don't fight, don't clash. A golfer. I'm getting inspired here. I don't know why.
I used to be golfer Pete, but I retired golfer Pete. So, but
a golfer doesn't have to be in a suit and tie. But like, you could like really cool golfer shirt, shirt, and like maybe like a cool backgrounds and things like that. Like maybe a little more casual posing and things like that. Well, that's the whole idea of the branding, like to bring you to the main character, to bring you like, hey, I'm the one that's actually controlling everything on that brand. And if you are clashing, like you mentioned about the LinkedIn, there are people like, hey, I'm talking with my kid. That's great. Not on LinkedIn, unless you are an educator, like unless you work with that. You are on the beach, unless you sell beach products or actually tourism, maybe, I don't know, something like that. Go for it. But like otherwise, no, don't do it. Reflect your brand. Everywhere. Even on Facebook, you joke around. It can be for Facebook. If it's your brand Facebook, it's a different thing. Your personal page, you do whatever you want, but don't invite your business people to your personal page because I don't think anybody wants to see our pictures in the beach, very comfortable, and then on Monday go to a business meeting and like and have a conversation.
Yes.
So I don't think that's very appropriate. But what people can do whatever they want, right?
Absolutely. It's all a choice. I'm a firm believer. Like we're just giving you suggestions. We're just helping you make better decisions to grow your business. And first impression, everybody's always heard it. It's first impression. So if you're on LinkedIn and you see a crazy picture, you know what you're doing? You're just going to fly by that profile. And you're not going to even know it because they're not going to drop you a line and say, hey, check out your your profile picture. Nobody has time to do that. So what would you say? So when you came here, I'm just curious, for this is a curious question, but I want you to go into, I know the second is systems, and we'll talk about that in just a second. When you came here 3 years, or you started your business 3 years ago, did you like have a challenge thinking in different languages? So how did you handle that transition? Because I just can imagine if I moved to Brazil, I'd be a fish out of water for a long time. How did you get through that transition phase?
I guess I'm a little privileged. I actually moved to the US at 2004.
Okay.
To study. And then I moved to New York in 2005. That's when I started studying photography more deeply and then actually like developing my career there. Like so it's a little different because I was already a student of English in Brazil.
Okay.
I studied English for like at least, I don't know, 15 years there. So I have some like, even though it was British English, I had some English. I just had to adapt to actually English, American English.
There's different versions. I
it was not from the beginning. It was people joked a lot about my ways of pronouncing things. Yes, not for the Portuguese, but for the British way.
Yeah.
So that's what I have a little advantage on that. So I already spoke English fluently. Just like I said, I used to think in Portuguese because that's what I was living before moving here. When I moved to New York, like is immersion. So it's only English. I had like a few Brazilian friends that would speak Portuguese once in a while.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like working in relationships with all English. So your brain develops that. and develop to speak English, and that's when it's funny. I keep saying that it's like a switch. If I'm here speaking with you in English, like somebody comes and talks to me in Portuguese, the switch flips in my head, and I'll be thinking in Portuguese and actually creating the whole conversation in Portuguese in my head. And that's where it gets really confused if there's two idioms being talked on the table. I'm like, I get like really like, where do I go? Where do I go? But yes, that's normally like you switch back and forth, and that's part of systems. It's part of like get used to it. Getting like is another challenge that we had to surpass, like to bring that to our careers. When I started my business, wow, when I started my business really was in New York. So
Okay.
19 years ago. Yeah,
Wow.
it's going fast. 19 years ago, I shot everything. Like I did fashion, I did food, I did real estate, I did all the above, all the photography is pretty much that existed that I could have access to it. I did until I found headshots, and I found like, hey, that's what I like to do. I like to bring those people to the front row, to like, hey, let's break those shells. Let's bring those personas out. Let's bring those people out. I personally am an introvert and a very shy person, so like being in front of the camera is like really bad for me. I don't know how Pete got me to do this.
Yeah, I don't know how either. Because if I had known that you not only speak Portuguese and you were from Brazil, I do know because I've dealt with. Well, I'll ask you this question. This is a way off guard. How many people in Cobb County were born in Brazil? How many do you think? I'm just getting. I know the number because Juliana told me. I mean, an article that she was part of the foundation. What would you think? How many people in Cobb County were born in Brazil and that currently live here? All right, it's 18,425. Now, I could be off by one or two, but it is mid 18,000s. And what I thought was very interesting is the concentration, because when she had her friends from Florida, they were going to the Brazilian, it was a foundation or something that they were doing that day, and they came up from Florida. And so everybody was there, had that connection to Brazil. So, and you have a pretty good soccer player down there too.
I feel.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah. You call it different, but I know you call it football down there. Well, anyway, that's a different subject. But what I thought was so cool that thinking one in multiple languages from a long time. I mean, you're speaking Spanish, you're speaking Portuguese. That has to have created a different mindset, because we here in America, we're speaking English. Now, sometimes somebody that maybe moves from a different country, they're speaking, but I have no idea what that's like, because it is a different way of processing information. So let's go back to New York, you're shooting all this, because I know Bartina asked you, do you do weddings? And I was waiting for that answer, because everybody in photography tells me that they stay away from weddings, because the old phrase, what is it, bridezilla, is real. If you want stress and you want an occupation that you want to throw your camera through the wall, it would be shoot weddings, because it's tough. It's a special day. People's stress level is at all-time high, and who they take it out on? The photographer, because you have to round people up, and people don't want to go they're just having a good time, and you're saying, here's the list of people that I have to take pictures of, and they're going, I don't want a picture, so I can see how that's totally different. So let's go back to headshots. You mentioned when we talked initially after I called you, systems. How important are systems with what you do and how you perform your skill of headshots?
Extremely important. First, let's just go back to the wedding. I
Mhm.
admire every photographer that does weddings.
Yes,
Like,
I do
did
too.
one wedding in my life that I actually loved doing because it was a great friend of mine.
Hmm.
It was cool because they flew me to Portugal to do it, so it was amazing.
Oh man, yeah, I think I'd
That-
enjoy that too.
But I would never do it again.
Yeah.
So don't reach out for weddings. I have amazing people that do it. I
Yes,
can refer you to.
yes.
Going to systems. Well, wedding photographers also should have systems if they're good.
Yeah.
Systems is everything for my business. Like, it doesn't matter what session I'm doing. If it's the simplest, basic LinkedIn picture, one shoot, 15 minutes, I have systems in place. This is everything. Like, the person will arrive from the booking. Like, the person booked, they're gonna get emails, all in systems, all automated. Everything made it like tailored to that experience. Everything will be calculated, for a better word, like, should be a smooth experience, should be easy on the client,
Yes.
should be easy and make the
Yes.
client feel comfortable. So those are the systems, that the computer systems, let's say this way. Then I have my own systems. When people arrive, we don't go shooting right away. We sit down, we're gonna have a conversation.
Mhm.
Some people I never met before. Like, some people book me online, I have never met before. I want to meet that person.
Yep.
I have a conversation with that person. I want to be like, what is it that you want to talk about? It? What is that your brand is? What do you want me to portray from you? Like, because you have to understand it. If I don't know that, like, I can just take technical good pictures, but it's not their brand, it's not their emotions, it's not their persona, the business persona, the ethos. They're not really who they want to be or they want to be. So that's the whole conversation that I have. Like, when we have, that's the part of the system. First, sit down, let's talk. What are you willing to accomplish? And that's for the simple section. If we talk about branding, we have this conversation on the phone much before the branding session, and because that's a little, I had to bring specific backgrounds and colors into the section. That's like a 4-hour session, so like, it's a whole different process. But it's still like, everything has to be calculated. Everything has to be like perfect to make you shine, to make your brand and you talk. Like, we were talking, like, again, we focus so much on like making that brand shine with logos and things like that, but we don't do ourselves, and we have to make that the star, make it shine, literally.
That's I love that, because one, I don't think a business can grow without systems. I mean, it just won't, because it's so critical that everybody sets them up. And that's, Juliana had told me her system. I mean, basically, she's cleaning and I get a text and, hey, I'll be, everything is systematized. She uses, I think, Jobber, which is related to vendors. But, that kind of thing is growth. And as our business owners are out there, whether you have your system, because every system is unique and different, but not to industries. And but you can still use standard things. Like, you can't be thinking, did I do my preliminary with Pete? It has to be done in a systematic way, and that's why you can grow. So what would you say, like, if I had to say, so we say the professionalism, the branding, how you're communicating your headshot to people would be one. You have to have a system in place, because we were talking about you doing a live event, and you went through your system with me. Like, how does that work? And you can't just go, hey, it just can't wing it. Wing it doesn't wing it. I mean, wing it doesn't work. So what would you say the third thing, if you had to talk to my audience about the importance of headshots, what would be the third thing that you'd want them to take home from this?
Again, the importance of like getting a professional photographer.
Yeah.
Like, anybody today can get a camera and say they are photographers. It's not the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I personally am a certified photographer from Professional Photographers of America, PPA, to make it easier for the next ones.
Yep.
But PPA works, is very true with it. Like we had to take a really big course, like understand, take written tests, and then we do practical tests to get the certification. I'm have mentors all over the country, like they're the best in our field, and we always have conversations about. And that's how I
Hmm.
have access to the best tools in the
Hmm.
market for headshots. On the event of headshots that you mentioned, Pete, it's a system that I'm in love with it. Like it's new for me. It's been I think in the market for around a year, and this system is so fantastic. That's like is we figure out all they figure out all the pain points of a client.
Yep.
Not all, because we're always improving, of course.
Sure.
But like all the pain points at the moment of the client, we're trying to like smooth it up, like and make it not a pain point anymore. For example, the events, we will go from like we print a QR code, so everybody sign up. Like with that, I get all their info, like the emails,
Hmm.
names, and things like that. And if keep in mind, it's an event, it can be like 300 people there, and so I'm getting all this info in that the host of the event will get after right there. Everybody that signed up with me, they'll get that list. On top of that, like so, you sign up, for example, you will be on my computer. I don't have to be there on the table when you sign up. I'm not there. I'm
Hmm.
behind the camera in my cocoon, photographer
Yeah.
cocoon,
Yeah.
my little protected light
Yep.
cocoon. You arrive in front of me, I know your name without you ever introducing yourself to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey Pete, how you doing? Let's do this headshot today.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it's 300 people, a couple hours to do. So it's not like an event. It's not like any studio shooting.
Yeah.
That is like I have a whole conversation and branding. It's more like that whole conversation happened with the host of the event before. So all the styling, all that thing comes from the event itself. Uh, and I shoot you. And that as soon as you finish, the pictures are uploaded and you get a text message on your phone and an email on your phone with all the pictures for you to choose your favorite.
This is crazy.
Your favorite. So you choose
Yes.
your favorite and I edit. Depending of the host of the event, they can hire somebody to ask that I have to hire somebody to edit, so I can't be shooting and edit at the same time. So if they hire somebody to edit, we can add we edit and deliver at the same
Mhm.
time. And that there's no pain to the host of
Yeah.
the event. They don't have
Yeah.
any problem of like trying to find who is so and so, who is that picture belongs to who, and all of that. So it's fantastic. And I'm very thankful to Headshot Tools. Like they are phenomenal. It's actually two of the people that created the software. There's like my mentors from day one that I decided to become a headshot photographer.
Yeah.
And I still see them a lot in Orlando or Canada. I don't go to Canada, unfortunately, but
Hey, my partner's from Canada, and I know enough about Canada. I'll let him live up there. I ain't gonna go up there.
No, I want to go visit. I definitely
Yes,
will.
visit different.
It's too
I
cold.
even say, like, I know some very attractive people from Brazil, and I say, man, are they all like you? Because I want to move there. And they go, well, why don't you live with them here? Because in Brazil, we don't have as much opportunity as we have here. So they corrected me, but I've met some wonderful people from Brazil. So, but that's side. But yeah, no, I think when you mention mentors, I'm a big proponent of business is tough, entrepreneurship is tough. You better have mentors out there. You better have people that can pour into you because we can't do it alone. The self-made person ain't, no, there's no self-made. It's all a matter of who you are getting advice from, who you're pouring into, who are pouring into you. And I think, speak just as we close down, how important has mentorship been to the growth of your business?
Oh, it's everything. Like I mentioned, those mentors, they are in photography mentors. I only have not only that, I have other mentors in life. The photography ones, there's quite a few in the country. I'm part of those groups of photographers.
Mhm.
I'm part of this table of conversations, and I
Okay.
listen a lot on them. But I also have business mentors as well. I have people that actually help me with my business,
Mhm.
marketing, and you name it, like in the financial part. think this way. Even though I'm a business owner, I'm still an artist at heart.
Yes.
And that does normally don't go really well together.
I totally agree.
Unfortunately.
You know, you hear that starving artist, and it's because I think people don't realize you do what you do best and outsource the rest, because you know you can't be a finance guy, you can't be this and keep stacking all these skills. Do that one thing, which in your case is headshots. And like I like what you told Bartina. It's like, no, I just do headshots. It's kind of like, what? You just do headshots? Yes. And you do them very, very well. You only want one thing, because people that concentrate on many things are a master of nothing.
And that's also the thing. Like people think that it's just one thing. Like headshots is not just one.
Yeah,
thing.
I know. It
You
is
have,
kind
you
of.
have a regular headshot.
Yeah.
You have a business headshot. You have entertainer's headshot. That on itself is a completely different scenario in different systems.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, like you have like for an entertainer, would you apply to a Broadway show with a drama villain headshot?
Yeah.
Or would you like, hey, no, I need a headshot that's more specific to Broadway, yeah, or things like that. So even that is a very specific category in my business that I have to really understand. And like, hey, there are different looks, and what the industry needs is different. Yes. So you have that. You have events. That's a whole beast. They have 300 people in a couple hours. Not everybody can do it. You have corporate, like people call me into their corporate event, I'm sorry, to their corporations, and that make me to shoot executives. Normally it's like at VPs and presidents or CEOs and things like that. They're very important. They have like 30 seconds to walk in and take that amazing shot and leave, and I have to be ready for it. Like I don't have a second chance. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of like little details on headshots that if you're not a specialist, you're not gonna know it.
Yep.
And I can't blame you, like, cause it's okay. Like you're not specialist. Again, like I was joking with Martina too, like, hey, would you go, if you have a heart problem, would you go to a cardiologist or to a regular ER person?
Like saying, hey, I'm practicing this for the first time. Will you be our guinea pig?
Exactly.
No. Yeah. No, I think that's the right framing is when you want something done right, you have to go with somebody that's an absolute specialist in that area. That's why if you look at it, we're in the, our average age here is 80. So people at breakfast kid around, hey, which doctor are you going to today? And how many are you going to? It's just the nature of growing older and they're all going to specialists because, you have to be a specialist now. The general doctor, is not a specialist in those specific areas. And hey, we only get one body, so you better find the best that can help you out in there. Okay, I want to be respectful of your time. So I want you to tell our listeners, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, my phone number and website are there. And my email is easy. It's sqs@sqsphotography.com. So those are the 3 ways that you can find me. I'm normally answer super fast, and social media, of course, at SQS Photography. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook.
Awesome. And for our Spotify listeners, 347-466-6575. And you can get them. Hey. So as we wind down, let me just give one little commercial break here for a second. I think we have it. So if you want to be a guest on our show, go to podcasterpkane.com, or you can call me direct. We want people like Sergio. So if you have somebody that's not a specialist and that can't add value to our community, we want to add value to our community. So we want people that are the very best at what they do. So think of those people. And if you can share this I want you to share this with people that are professionals that know that you got to invest in yourself. And you invest in yourself as a headshot. You'll always pay many, many, many times if you invest in yourself. And don't have your cousins, friends, sisters, brothers whatever, say, hey, will you take my headshot? No.
Don't do it.
That's a mismatch. You got to get it all right. And you don't want people to go, well, I can see the cousin took that picture. That's not what you want in your conversation. You want to say, wow, and stop people in their tracks and say, I got to find out about this person, because what's communicating to me is the brand that you want to communicate. And LinkedIn's a wonderful platform of professionals. So that's all I have there. I think we're gonna wind down. Tell our viewers, what is the one thing you would want them to take home from our time on the podcast?
The one thing, I can go on and say like the classic that every photographer say, like, don't drink, don't go partying the night before. But I think I'll focus more on the branding part that we've been talking throughout the podcast. Like, when I get to talk to my clients, many times the clients don't know their branding, don't know what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's something that you have. It's amazing that you do, because it makes easier for us to like reflect you and bring you out. Like, I can focus in many areas. But if I don't know your brand, you don't.
Yes.
I don't. Like, I will know what I read from it, but it'll be my interpretation of it. So if you tell me exactly what a brand is, what you're looking for, who you're trying to reach, what kind of attitude you want, what kind of like energy you want out there, that's like, we can reproduce that in studio. We can make that happen for you. It makes your life easier and my life easier as well. But like, that's the branding. Like, understand your brand, understand what you want, and then apply everywhere, like in your emails, in your websites, in your headshots, and everywhere. So keep that energy the same, keep that language the same.
Awesome. Before I go, I have one favor to ask you. Now, I have Juliana, Brunello, Maria, and Wellington. They're all involved in businesses in Portuguese. I want you to say hello to them, and this is for y'all. Okay, just, I don't know, say something cool or whatever in Portuguese.
Oi, pessoal, gostaria muito de conhecer vocês. Vamos marcar alguma coisa, vamos marcar churrasquinho. Não, brincadeira. Vamos marcar cafezinho.
Dang, what did you say?
I just said hi everyone. I just like, let's schedule a barbecue.
Okay.
But then I was like, no, let's do some coffee and meet each other, because I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, that's good. All right, thank you, Sergio. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you so much for your time. And
you're most welcome. It's been my treat for sure. Thank you.